Good evening, listeners. This is your emergency broadcast network, live from an undisclosed location, bringing you the latest updates on the developing crisis. Please stay tuned and remain calm. We are here to guide you through this unprecedented event. First, let me assure you that authorities are fully aware of the situation and are working tirelessly to ensure your safety. If you're just tuning in, here's what we know so far. Earlier today, reports began to surface of unusual behavior in several urban centers. Authorities initially dismissed these as isolated incidents, but as of 6 p.m., the National Health Organization has declared a state of emergency. The symptoms reported include extreme aggression, disorientation, and what some are describing as, uncontrollable hunger. While we are not here to speculate, I urge you avoid direct contact with anyone exhibiting these behaviors. For those of you in affected areas, please follow these immediate guidelines. Lock all doors and windows. Do not attempt to confront or engage with individuals showing signs of aggression. Gather essential supplies, including water, non-perishable, a flashlight, and most importantly, stay indoors. Now, I know this sounds frightening. It is, but we've been through crises before, and we've come out stronger. We are resilient. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a deep breath. You're not alone. We'll be providing updates every 10 minutes, including safe zone locations, evacuation routes, and tips for staying secure. As of now, several cities have initiated lockdown protocols. If you're in the following areas, please remain where you are: Chicago, Atlanta, and Los Angeles. Authorities are working to contain the situation. For those in less affected regions, avoid unnecessary travel and keep your radios tuned to this frequency. We are your lifeline. I want to remind you that panic is our worst enemy right now. Trust the system. Trust each other. If you're with family, hold them close. If you're alone, know that someone somewhere is thinking of you. We'll get through this. We'll take a moment to address some of the questions we've received. No, this is not a drill. Yes, emergency services are operational, but they are prioritizing high-risk areas. And no, we do not yet have a confirmed cause for these events. Please refrain from spreading rumors or misinformation. If you're listening and you're safe, consider reaching out to a neighbor or friend. Let them know you're there. Sometimes just knowing someone else is out there can make all the difference. We've just received an update from the National Guard. Additional safe zones are being established. I'll have those locations for you in just a moment. In the meantime, stay vigilant, stay safe, and keep listening. This is your emergency broadcast network, and we're here for you. Welcome back to the Emergency Broadcast Network. If you're just joining us, we're providing continuous updates on the ongoing crisis. The situation remains fluid, but we're committed to bringing you the most accurate information available. Let's start with what we know. The affected areas are expanding. Reports are now coming in from smaller towns and rural regions, suggesting this is not isolated to major cities. While this may sound alarming, it also means authorities are gaining a clearer picture of the situation. The National Guard has confirmed containment efforts are underway. For those of you in affected areas, here's what you need to do. If you haven't already, begin barricading your home. Use furniture, heavy objects, or anything that can reinforce your doors and windows. Avoid making loud noises, as this could attract unwanted attention. If you have a basement or an attic, consider relocating there. These areas are often more secure and easier to defend. Remember, your safety is your top priority. We've received reports that some individuals may be attempting to leave affected areas on foot. I cannot stress this enough. Do not attempt to travel unless absolutely necessary. Roads are becoming increasingly dangerous, and many are now impassable. Stay where you are. Help is coming. For those of you in the following areas, please take note. Safe zones have been established in the following locations: Dallas Convention Center, St. Louis Armory, and the Portland Civic Arena. These zones are heavily fortified and equipped to provide water and medical assistance. If you're within a reasonable distance of these locations and can travel safely, these are your best options. For everyone else, stay indoors. The safest place you can be right now is behind a locked door. I know this is hard. I know some of you are scared. I know because, well, I'm scared too. But fear is a natural response. It's what keeps us sharp, keeps us alive. Channel it. Use it to stay alert and focused. We've also received questions about the nature of this outbreak. At this time, authorities have not confirmed a cause. There are theories, of course. Some say it's a virus, others suggest something more unconventional. But speculation won't keep you safe. Facts will. Here's a fact. You're safer if you stay quiet. Turn off unnecessary lights. Cover your windows with blankets or heavy fabric. If you have pets, keep them indoors and as quiet as possible. To those listening, you're doing great. You're taking the steps you need to survive. That's all anyone can ask of you right now. Keep going. Keep listening. You're not alone. This just in. Authorities are urging everyone to stay away from hospitals and other large gathering points. These locations have become overwhelmed and are no longer safe. If you or a loved one require medical attention, contact emergency services for guidance. I repeat, do not go to hospitals unless directed to do so by local authorities. We'll be back with more updates shortly. Remember, stay calm, stay safe, and keep listening. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network, and we're here to help you through this. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network, continuing our live coverage of the ongoing crisis. For those of you still with us, thank you for tuning in. It's important that we stay connected, even when the world outside feels disconnected. Begin with the latest updates. Urban centers are seeing a rapid escalation in activity. Reports from cities like Chicago, Atlanta, and Seattle indicate widespread chaos. Emergency services are stretched thin, and in some cases have ceased operations entirely. If you're in one of these areas, shelter in place. Do not attempt to leave unless absolutely necessary. Begin with the latest updates. Urban centers are seeing a rapid escalation in activity. Reports from cities like Chicago, Atlanta, and Seattle indicate widespread chaos. Emergency services are stretched thin, and in some cases have ceased operations entirely. If you're in one of these areas, shelter in place. Do not attempt to leave unless absolutely necessary. Also, it appears as if 95% of the survivors still haven't subscribed. You must quickly ensure that you have subscribed and gathered all the energy required to like the video. I've received some troubling reports. I want to stress that these are unverified, but I feel it's my duty to share them with you. Some survivors claim to have seen unusual behavior among the infected. They're describing movements that seem coordinated, purposeful. Again, these reports are unconfirmed, but it's a reminder to stay vigilant. Don't let your guard down, and whatever you do, don't let them see you. Now, let's talk about staying hidden. If you haven't already, find a secure location with limited entry points. Basements, attics, or interior rooms are ideal. Avoid places with large windows or open spaces. And if you're in a multi-story building, stay away from the ground floor. Keep noise to a minimum. That means no loud conversations, no music, and certainly no shouting. If you need to communicate, whisper or use hand signals. The less attention you draw, the better. To those of you with children or pets, I know this is especially hard. Try to keep them calm and quiet. If you have small children, consider creating a safe, enclosed space where they can stay without fear of wandering off. For pets, keep them close and secure. There are also rumors, stories of survivors turning on each other. Desperation can make people do terrible things. If you're with others, trust is key. Work together, but stay cautious. And if you're alone, well, sometimes that's safer. Here's a reminder. Avoid direct contact with the infected at all costs. Even a scratch or a bite can be dangerous. If you suspect someone has been exposed, isolate them immediately. I know it's a hard choice, but it's one that could save your life. Those of you just tuning in, safe zones have been confirmed in the following locations: Dallas Convention Center, St. Louis Armory, and the Portland Civic Arena. These zones are well fortified and staffed by trained personnel. If you can reach one of these locations safely, do so. Otherwise, stay put and wait for further instructions. I know it feels like the world is falling apart, and maybe it is. But even in the darkest times, there's light. There's hope. And as long as we keep fighting, as long as we keep surviving, that hope stays alive. We'll be back with more updates soon. In the meantime, stay calm, stay quiet, and stay safe. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network signing off for now. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network, bringing you the latest updates as we navigate this unprecedented crisis. If you're hearing this, it means you're still out there, still surviving. And that's no small feat. We've received some troubling news. One of the previously reported safe zones, the Dallas Convention Center, has been compromised. Reports indicate a breach occurred earlier today, and the situation there is unstable. If you were planning to head, I strongly advise against it. For those already en route, try to find shelter before reaching the city limits. Look for smaller, less populated areas to regroup. Remember, mobility can be just as dangerous as staying put. We're also hearing unsettling accounts from survivors. Some describe infected individuals displaying behaviors that are hard to explain. They talk about moments of stillness as if the infected are listening, watching. I know how this sounds, but it's better to be cautious. Avoid direct encounters at all costs, and if you see something that doesn't make sense, trust your instincts and get away. Let's move on to survival strategies. For those of you in colder climates, use the weather to your advantage. The infected seem to move slower in freezing temperatures, and their senses appear less sharp. If you can, find shelter in areas where the cold's a natural deterrent. But remember, the cold is also a danger to you. Bundle up, keep dry, and conserve body heat. Hypothermia can be just as deadly as what's outside your door. If you're traveling in groups, trust is essential, but so is caution. We've heard too many stories of groups falling apart due to paranoia or betrayal. Keep your group small. Stick to people you know and trust. And if you're unsure about someone, well, it's better to be safe than sorry. For those of you alone out there, I know it's hard. Isolation can wear you down. But it also means you don't have to rely on anyone but yourself. Stay sharp, stay quiet, and remember, every choice you make is yours alone. Here's a reminder about supplies. If you're running low, prioritize water and non-perishable food. Avoid canned goods that look swollen or damaged. They could be contaminated. And if you're foraging, stick to areas that seem untouched. The last thing you want is to stumble into a trap. We've also been receiving more reports of strange sounds. Whispers, tapping, even laughter. I want to remind everyone, the infected don't laugh. If you hear something like that, it's not them. And that might be even worse. For those tuning in late, I'll recap the key updates. The Dallas Convention Center safe zone is no longer secure. Avoid the area. Conditions in colder climates offer some advantages but come with their own risks. And above all, stay hidden. Stay quiet. I know it's hard to keep going, to keep hoping. But as long as you're out there, as long as you're fighting to survive, there's still a chance. And that chance is worth everything. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network, signing off for now. We'll be back with more updates soon. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, and remember, you're not alone. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network. If you're still with us, we're here to provide you with the latest updates and survival tips. Every second counts, so let's get right into it. We've received confirmation of a new safe zone. This one's located at the Fairbanks airfield in Alaska. It's remote, heavily fortified, and, according to reports, still holding strong. If you're anywhere near the northern regions, this might be your best shot. However, we don't have exact details on how to gain entry. Approach with caution and be prepared to prove you're not infected. Many safe zones are implementing strict screening protocols, and some have been less than forgiving. We've also been hearing unsettling reports from survivors. Stories of people acting strange, not infected, but not themselves either. Some describe sudden outbursts of aggression. Others mention long periods of silence, followed by erratic behavior. If you're traveling with others, keep an eye out for any unusual signs. Stress does strange things to people, and in times like these, trust is a fragile thing. Remember, the infected aren't your only threat. Desperation makes people dangerous. Avoid high-traffic areas, malls, gas stations, anywhere people might gather. These places are magnets for trouble. If you're scavenging, do it quickly and quietly. Take only what you need and leave no trace. The less attention you draw, the better your chances. Also been getting more reports of strange noises, whispers, tapping, even music. I don't know what to make of it. Some say it's just the wind or old machinery coming back to life. Others think, well, it doesn't matter what they think. What matters is staying alive. If you hear something that doesn't make sense, don't investigate, just get out of there. You're tuning in late, here's what you need to know. A new safe zone has been established at Fairbanks Airfield in Alaska. Approach with caution. Reports of strange survivor behavior are on the rise, so stay vigilant. And above all, keep moving. Staying too long can be just as dangerous as wandering. I know it's hard out there. I know how it feels to be alone, to wonder if anyone's even listening. But you're not alone. As long as you can hear this, as long as you're fighting to survive, there's still hope. Before I go, one last piece of advice. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. And if you're not sure what to do, remember, sometimes the best move is to stay hidden and wait. Survival is a game of patience as much as anything else. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network, signing off for now. Stay safe, stay strong, and remember, you're not alone. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network. If you're still out there, still listening, you've made it another hour. That's no small thing. Every moment you survive is a victory. And every victory, no matter how small, matters. I know it's hard to keep going. The weight of it all, the endless questions. Why me, why now? What's the point? But the point is, you're here, you're alive. And as long as you're alive, there's hope. We've been getting more reports of strange occurrences. People hearing voices, seeing things that shouldn't be there. It's easy to let your mind play tricks on you when you're scared, when you're tired. But remember, not everything you hear or see is real. Trust your instincts, but don't let fear control you. If you're on the move, keep an eye on the weather. Storms are rolling in across several regions, and they're making travel even more dangerous. Flooded roads, fallen trees, and limited visibility can turn a safe route into a death trap. If you're caught in bad weather, find shelter and wait it out. The infected aren't the only threat out there. Nature has its own way of reminding us how small we are. Also received unsettling reports. People claiming to hear laughter, music, even whispers in the dark. I don't know what to make of it. Maybe it's just the wind, or the echoes of a world we've lost. Or maybe it's something else. Either way, if you hear something that doesn't belong, don't investigate. Don't try to understand it. Just get away. I've been doing this for, I don't even know how long anymore. Days, weeks. Time doesn't mean much when the world's fallen apart. But I do know this. Every time I sit here, every time I speak into this mic, I'm reminded of one thing. You're still out there. And as long as you're out there, I'll keep talking. I used to think about the future all the time. What I'd do, where I'd go, who I'd be. Now the future feels different. Smaller. It's not about dreams or plans anymore. It's about the next hour, the next minute. It's about surviving. If you're listening to this, I want you to know, you're not forgotten. Even if the world feels empty, even if you feel invisible, you're not. Every life matters. Every single one of you matters. Before I go, here's a quick recap. Storms are making travel dangerous, so plan your routes carefully. Strange noises and sights have been reported. Don't investigate them. And remember, Fairbanks Airfield in Alaska is still a confirmed safe zone, but with caution. Stay hidden, stay quiet, and most importantly, stay alive. This is the Emergency Broadcast Network signing off for now. Until next time, keep fighting. Also, it appears as if 95% of the survivors still haven't subscribed. You must quickly ensure that you have subscribed and gathered all the energy required to like the video.